Hello everyone, Bear here, and today I'll be bringing you a little bit of an update on the channel, looking at what's going to be happening going forward. Now for those of you who've been following along on stream, then you'll know there's been some pretty big changes coming into my life recently, and really that's all coming into play pretty much this month, start of next month. And before we start, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone getting us up to 300 subscribers, a number I honestly was not actually expecting to get to. So that is a massive thank you to everyone who followed along, commented, liked, subscribed, helped us with the old YouTube algorithm malarkey, as well as just generally interacting. Like honestly, the main thing I enjoy about doing all of this YouTube stuff really is just talking to people, but also engaging in actual discussions, having a chat about the topics of Bear News, going into some more detail behind Bear Talks, you name it. It's been absolutely amazing. And of course, everyone who shows up on stream, thank you a ton. Those streams are pretty much the highlight of my week. Every Friday, sitting down when we're not playing Rise of the Samurai and actually enjoying a bit of Total War, chatting rubbish. It is most glorious. Thank you a bunch for showing up. Unfortunately, coming up over the next few months, what's going to be happening is I'll be moving out to Ibaraki. Now, for those who don't know, I live over in Saitama, so it's not a huge journey to get over there, but it's just going to take quite a while actually, moving everything from one house to another via the train. And it's also exactly why the content has had such a massive shift pretty much over the last few months, with the release of mini-series being reduced and more of them switching onto videos on demand coming off of Twitch. Something that I've been doing because A, I play quite a bit over on Twitch, but also for the fact that it just cuts down so much time in recording separately that honestly, it really is a big help. Now with the move coming up to Ibaraki, as well as potentially moving out of Japan sometime possibly early next year. Starting off with Warhammer and Armageddon, we're going to be working our way through the series that are ongoing, trying to eliminate as many as possible, with potentially even some of these becoming part of the Friday streaming schedule. Now I will state right now that I'm not going to end Let's Plays on the channel. I do enjoy them and I definitely want to keep them going. However, I do feel that the general focus of the channel should shift towards be it Bear Reviews, Bear News, or Bear Talks. And I'd like to use this opportunity to quickly ask a few questions of you. And that is to say, where would you like the focus of the video element to be? Now, of course, with it being a podcast, the main thing I've been focusing on is actually getting the sound element to work well. But in terms of visuals, where it's been applicable, I've been using a window to show what we've been talking about, visiting various sites and such. So apart from that, it's just kind of been connected gameplay. It's certainly something I can continue doing, but I'm just not too sure if it's something you're actually interested in seeing. And I bring this up mostly as it really does increase the amount of time required to edit, not only in terms of recording and getting enough material to make that screen, but also in the fact that it can substantially increase the rendering times of the video itself. And I'm really not taking the mick when I say how substantial that is. I've had a video now take a full 28 hours to render, and that was even after I reduced things. So if you do have any notes, I'd love to hear them. I'm not going to take offense to anything said. There are certainly areas of the channel I think need a huge amount of improvement, so hearing what you guys have to say will really help to decide how I will focus on things going forward. Not only am I doing this to bring in a bit more consistency, but also in an effort to reduce the workload so as to try and improve the quality. At this point in time, I genuinely feel that the sheer quantity of stuff that's been going on the channel, as well as in my personal life, has simply led to the point where I can't actually maintain a lot of the stuff we've been doing. It's the reason why I've already had to reduce down from releasing once a day to having 2 days officially nothing released on, even though more often than not, I was releasing stuff on them anyway. And though I am definitely going to be taking a break, as basically between organizing my girlfriend's move, my move, possibly even changing jobs, everything has just sort of become a little too much. I'm incredibly distracted. I'm sure everyone's noticed on stream. I'm honestly struggling to even think straight half the time. Taking a step back, taking a moment to sort things through, continue on with Bear Talks. As I said, I genuinely enjoy that, and they are going to be infrequent enough that I'm 100% going to be able to maintain it. Just having a little bit of a break for a few weeks, and instead of recording new stuff and making new material, What I'm going to be doing is using some of the material I was making pretty much back at the start of this year. I've actually been building up a fairly substantial amount of additional content just for this reason that when the move came, I knew I would be unable to actually record anything, and so I am going to be relying a little bit more on those series just as we're moving forward. Especially as hopefully through using those, at least I'll have a consistent voice, as I honestly don't know why, but my voice seems to be changing day to day. I blame the air conditioning. But with all that said, with all the shifts coming into the Let's Plays, just what is happening to Bear reviews? Well, to put it simple, that is going to continue looking at the list of shame as well as any new releases as and when they come. Now, the list of shame I will continue to stream over on Twitch, and if there's any game in particular you want looked at, do give a shout. You can find it on my backlogged, because what I'm aiming to do is finish them on Twitch before actually making a review to put onto YouTube. As for Bear News, well, with the extra time, that means I'm going to be able to do a fair amount more research. Which also means finally I will be up to date on what's happening with the Total War world, not to mention general strategy games and gaming at large. Something that I've unfortunately had to neglect, actually owing to Bear Talks and simply not having the time to devote elsewhere. But I'm aiming to get that back in with a vengeance, so game on. Last, but by no means least, is Bear Talks. Now, Bear Talks is something I thoroughly enjoy, and it's definitely something I'm aiming to maintain. What I've been doing so far is pretty much trying to do it once a week, which is incredibly difficult when you're trying to organize interviews with people halfway across the world. Not only will Bear News be back, not only will Bear Reviews be back, but Bear Talks will be back with a vengeance. Now, I've already begun talking to multiple developers, however, I am going to be aiming to expand this once more to getting more content creators on, discussing various aspects of gaming and trying to really expand the podcast as much as possible. Not to mention currently talking to some of the members of the more peripheral areas of the content creation business. That is to say, marketing professionals, channel artists, community managers, and even networking experts. For this though, I am going to need some help. If you know some content creators you think would be good to come on as guests, or if you yourself want to come on, get in touch with me, my emails are always open. And just to save the effort, because this has been coming up more and more lately, when I say I'm willing to work around your schedule, I mean I will be up at 3 in the morning and we'll just do the interview then. I really don't mind, it's a one-off thing, I'm more than happy to do it. But otherwise, any day off is always the best. And to add to this, in an effort to improve quality, please do get in touch. If there's anything that you feel should be worked on, anything that's not quite gelling, anything you want to see improved, I really do want to know, because you're going to be the best ones to see what's going right and what's going wrong when I release these. And that's my big call to arms, asking for a little bit of help getting Bear Talks up and running with more diversity, more people showing up, and also hopefully with a better quality. But the changes don't just end there. And since I'm moving over to Ibaraki to move in with my girlfriend, the aim is actually going to be to start up some board gaming sessions. Now, I currently only have one here in Japan, however, back in Australia, let's just say I'm a massive fan of Steamforged. So I'm going to be aiming to get those up and running when I get back, but this will work as a really nice tester just to see what you guys think, and to be honest, if you're even interested in seeing any of that sort of thing. Now, with all that said, the big changes that are going to come through are really just going to be to the schedule. With moving over to Ibaraki, I can't guarantee what days I'm going to have free, as the manager I've been speaking to still hasn't given me a clear date. All I can say is I'll be keeping you updated over on Twitter as and when I find out, and also of course it will become the new staple on the channel for streaming, so keep an eye out next month to see when everything settles down. I can also say that Ibaraki is actually a lot more of a historical place than Saitama, and so I am going to be aiming to get out and about and see a bit more of the history of Japan while I'm over there. If it's something you're interested in, I've put a few pictures already of travels in Odawara, as well as Asakusa, onto Instagram. But if you want to see a bit more, then please do go over there and check out my Instagram just to see some random shots of Japan. So that's what I've got to say, but more importantly, how do you guys feel about the channel? How do you feel things are going, and what do you want to see in the future for Brought to Bear? I'm looking forward to your responses. And until then, yes, we are watching Age of Empires 4 and me getting royally thrashed in this game. I'd like to make a big thanks to the Medjay of Fayium for alerting me to the fact that this was even available. Unfortunately, it was only the skirmish and multiplayer components of the game, so I am planning to make a video to tell you what I think, but let's just say I wasn't overly impressed. I'm still awaiting on that single player. Till then, as always, peace out. Hello again from Future Bear. So one of the things I just quickly wanted to mention is the fact that when I'm moving over to this new place in Ibaraki, it's going to take a little bit to set things up, and the quality of the audio is going to be a little bit hit and miss at the start. The reason being, for anyone who's been following along with the total challenge all the way through, you'll know that starting off in Australia, my audio was god awful. And then coming into Japan, it was kind of really echoey and pretty nasty for pretty much up until about Empire and then Napoleon. I kind of started to figure things out and get it working. The reason for that is originally I was actually recording outside in my room. And it's terrible because in Japan you have a really, really big, there's nothing in it. There is just nothing in that room. And as such, the sound quality is horrendous. I moved into my closet where I'm able to control the sound a lot more, put up all these things to help dampen the sound. I don't really know the science, but it really does work. As well as various other things around me you can't see behind me. There's cardboard boxes that are holding up a bunch of sound insulation foam. Yep, can't stick it on the wall, but you can stick it on cardboard boxes. This is how you do it cheap. I'm amazed no one noticed in the shorts. Either way, is basically I'm gonna have to spend some time moving around, trying to get things good, trying to find where it sounds best, and also where I can go that it's not going to royally annoy my neighbors. Another reason I set up in here was a simple fact: it's keeping the sound relatively under control and putting as many layers between me and my neighbors as possible. Even if you've never been to Japan, I'm sure many of you have heard about how thin the walls can be. Yeah, sound insulation is quite a big issue here. As such, fingers crossed it'll all go well and it'll all be sorted nice and fast. Fingers crossed. Anyway, yep, Future Bear, out. Damn, that's dusty.